Hello, my little lambs. It's me, Phoebe, back at it again, and I decided to come at you cuties with a different video. One that is scripted, which I know is completely rare for me. I don't do it that often, but I wanted to be able to express my thoughts to you guys in a sort of organized way. Yeah. In this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about Poppy's Playtime, specifically some designs and design choices, and the design of a certain character, which I'm sure you already know from reading the title of this video. Um, and I am speaking as an artist and as someone who loves horror. If I had the money to get horror memorabilia, I definitely would. My money would probably go to all of that. Well, obviously, I'm some semi-responsible with my money. The bill's most important, but I would definitely love to get some horror memorabilia. I would love to get the mask from the movie Valentine. It's such a bad but good horror movie. Like, it's one of those that's like really bad that it's good in a sense. I don't know. That's my opinion. This video is not intended to diminish anyone, including the design team of Poppy's Playtime. This is all my opinion, and I don't intend to change your opinion with my video. The point of my video is to just express my thoughts and my opinions. This is purely just criticism from me, a girl on the internet who just loves horror and breathes it anytime she can. Hello, I watch a bunch of horror movies, horror shows. I literally have Criminal Minds on in the background, and if you ask me, that's horror enough, I could have had an SVU in the background, and again, that would be horror. But anyways, to begin this video with a hard statement, which I'm sure you read the title and already know my opinion, but the design of the prototype was severely disappointing to me. Severely, and I can't express that enough. I will say, upon seeing the design, I expected so much more. I expected something more horrifying that would make my jaw just completely drop. And it's not to say that the design is bad. It's not bad at all. In fact, I like it. I love it. I love gesture characters. They hold a special place in my heart. They tell me not to come around with that impish behavior, and here I am coming around with that impish behavior. But I will say, for the design of the prototype, the big bad of the game, the biggest villain that we've now had the pleasure of being introduced to, I expected the prototype to be more terrifying. I want it to scare me to the point of not being able to sleep. That's what I personally would have loved from it. I would have loved for it to just really, really, really terrify me, and yeah, but if I'm being frank, it's literally just a robot jester that doesn't scare me in the slightest. It doesn't mean that the design is bad. Again, the design is good. It's just me personally, I was expecting a whole lot more. And maybe some of you guys were expecting more from the design as well. Again, I don't know. I hardly see anybody talk about the prototype design and everything like that. I remember, I think I had Mark on in the background. Yeah, so we all know Mark's opinion about Poppy's Playtime, which I completely agree with. Yeah, no. But here's the thing, I am not an active Poppy's Playtime fan as well. I guess I'm just a casual watcher. I mean, each chapter comes out every 1 year, 2 years, or something like that. I don't remember, but it's been a long time that the game has been, coming out, and it's the fact that we're on the 5th chapter, and now we're getting a 6th chapter apparently. Honestly, the 5th chapter, in my opinion, that's where it should have ended. But whatever, we'll wait until chapter 6 comes out. either I think it's this year or the next. Who knows? I forgot when chapter 5 came out. But anyways, when we first got a glimpse of the prototype's arm, I loved that little glimpse of it. It was creepy. Like those like needly fingers and the bone you can see, and that's human bone. Like that was more scary than the full design itself. Just like the imagination going around in my head of just like the prototype dismantling a human corpse and just, putting that on his body, I liked that. Like that was a good horror element that I really, really liked. It's just the whole rest of the design was disappointing in and of itself. And the glimpse was scarier than the whole full design itself, like I just said. And when it killed Catnap, when its fingers, thin needle fingers, just, immediately inserted themselves in his head and just like killed him, fingers going like back of his head, like it was just that was a masterpiece in and of itself. That was a masterpiece. And that was the best thing about that chapter. And along with, Catnap's design, his design is amazing. Like that was really, really creepy. Catnap's design, I would say, is the creepiest out of all of them, which I really, really like. And yeah, we'll get into that. Now, with Catnap, the design was creepy, and that's great. It made me terrified to go against him, even though the fight itself is pretty annoying, but still, it's like seeing Catnap walk around in the halls, just like crawling around. That, again, chef's kiss. Really, really like that. And with the prototype, I'm not afraid to go against that bitch at all. Trust me, when I'm thinking about going against the prototype, I'm thinking about getting a rope somewhere, a chain, something that I can just wrap around the spider legs and then just haul it, like lasso that bitch, haul it down, hog tie it, whatever. I am not afraid to go against the prototype. I am truly not afraid to go against it. I am more afraid of going against Catnap. I am more afraid, more terrified of Catnap than I am of the prototype. And that is a bad thing. That is a bad thing. Let me tell you why. Because I'm supposed to be more scared of the big bad than I am of one of his little minions. I'm supposed to be more scared of the prototype than I am of Catnap. And you know what's more terrifying than the prototype? Bond from the Walton Files. When I tell you guys I could not sleep safely when I first saw Bond, when I first saw the Walton Files, I could not. Literally, I had to put on a nightlight or something so that I could sleep in peace. I literally checked my closet. I checked the whole parameter because my favorite analog horror series, that one scared me so much that I literally feared for my life, even though I know it's fictional. And I am more terrified of going against Bond than I am of the prototype. 100%. And, and I had to keep reminding myself that Bond was a fictional character and that he's not going to kill me. Like, he's not actually, like, roaming around the streets in the woods, coming to kill me. I live in a desert, for fucking God's sake. That being said, Bond's design is simple, but super unsettling, especially with all he's done and what we know he's done. Look at his eyes. The way he almost gives like a blank, unsettling stare. It also feels like he had human eyes planted in to the sockets of the animatronic itself. And the decay of the animatronic adds to that horror element I love so much. With the way he's portrayed as well, and we don't know his true intentions. That's what makes Bond a better design and villain. We don't know what he truly is. And I am still waiting on season 2 of the Walton Files. eagerly and desperately. Please, Martin, please. I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to rush you. But Martin, I'm ready for my dinner. Please, please feed us. Please feed me. Anyways, as for the prototype, there's not enough decay. He almost looks brand new. And I get it. He's fixed himself up, he's put some body parts on him, whatever, whoever fixed him up, whatever. But that's still he should still have some decay to him. And if anything, the design reminds me of a Has-Been Hotel character. And if you know me at all, I hate Has-Been Hotel. Or anything to do with its creator. I don't like her at all. Vivzy Pop, don't like her. Sorry, not sorry, just my opinion. But there's something about the design that lacks horror. And I get it. It doesn't necessarily lack horror, it's just not scary. And I understand that this whole game and the designs of the characters are based off children's toys. But you know what game made their toy designs / character designs unsettling? Alice the Madness Returns. If you look at the concept art, don't you feel somewhat disturbed? Like, doesn't it make your stomach churn a little bit? Especially with the designs of the children in the game, and especially that land. I forgot what it's called, but the land with all that dollhouse and everything like that. That is that just it disgusted me in the best way possible. And just look at all the characters and how they're designed. This is what I expect from a character such as the prototype. A character that is supposed to be unsettling, but to me it just looks like a joke. And I don't mean that to be so harsh, but he does indeed look like a joke. I'm telling you, I am not afraid to go against him. But anyways, another thing I despise about the design is the lack of dominance. And what I mean is by the lack of limbs from the other villains we faced in the other chapters. Huggy Wuggy, Mommy Long Legs, Catnap, and he just is not fully decked out in them, not even fully decorated with them. I would expect more limbs from the prototype, to have his trophies of each of his victims, that bone that he had, that was such a nice touch. But it's all the little bits that they had, nice touch, but I wish he had more, because that would taunt the other toys to prevent them from going against him, because it's showing them, hey, this is what happens when you go against me. And you're telling me that the evilest bitch here does not have trophies to back up the kills? Again, because to me, he's not scary at all. And it just looks sort of empty instead. There's a lot of space to fill, with other limbs and stuff. Hell, it could have had a torso from an eyeball or something, something to signal to the others, this is all my victims and they're all different trophies and stuff. And, wouldn't he use some of the parts that are useful, maybe mommy long legs, arms, because they wrap around and whatever, and then also Huggy Wuggy, maybe one of his arms and legs too, maybe, so that he could get around better, cause he's just this big old spider, But yeah, it lacks, and I wish it was just more. I feel it wasn't thought out as well, the design, if I'm gonna be honest. It just feels it was an afterthought to add the limbs that we've seen. And you just know what would have been so sick and twisted to carry around a head on him, from those little tiny what are they called? Like the little toys that we see in the safe haven and stuff, before it gets destroyed and whatever. Spoilers, but I feel like if you're here, then you've already seen like the latest chapter, so it's not even that much big of a freaking spoiler. But yeah, like that would have been so sick and twisted, and I would have loved to see something like that. But instead, seeing that rib cage that we see in his design, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Like, it's cool. It's cool in theory and thought, but I don't know. It just feels like sort of cheesy, and the way that the other limbs are placed, sort of cheesy as well. I don't know. Again, just this whole thing is just purely my opinion. um, yeah, but hopefully one day I can develop more skills to draw exactly what I see in my head, because it's very different from picturing something in your head to putting it on a canvas. And yeah, but for now, this wasn't initially going to be a redesign video, like, at all. This was literally just going to be me like drawing another character like in the background and discussing my opinion and why I believe that the prototype design was disappointing. But a friend of mine, shout out to Zen, tell him to stream more. But he said it would be better to show what I would consider more scary and to express what I had in mind, seeing the prototype based off his hand. And I didn't really place it off his hand. I didn't really have time, nor I guess like the patience to draw all of that. I essentially just did this in a day and did what I could with the design. And now with this design, I tried to emulate what I've mentioned so far in this video. Alice Savannah's Returns and the Walton Files. And then I also try to emulate some more like Jester-ish kind of designs in here. But I didn't really contribute a whole lot of Jester to it, even though I feel like I should have. But it is what it is. Maybe one day I'll actually take this like real seriously and just like really go for it. But yeah, and I also tried to do this in Martin style in a way. I don't know if I did a good job doing that and doing what I sought out to do, but I'm sure y'all will let me know in the comments of if I did a shitty job or not. But hey, I tried my best. And I showed the initial sketch to my sibling, and they told me that they'd rather perish than go against my design. So I'm gonna take that as a win in the scare factor department, Also, it kind of kept it just monochrome, black and white, because I didn't really feel like coloring it, and I didn't really want to guess the colors of the prototype because literally, well, I could have found like a picture or something, but I don't know. I didn't feel like coloring it. I'm just gonna be so real right there. I did not feel like taking my time coloring it. I literally just wanted to shade it and just try to make it look as unsettling as possible. But that's it. There's like literally no rhyme or reason to the lack of color, but I think it helped with the creepiness factor. At least I would hope so. But yeah, I really hope you guys like this video. I did really hope that this was a bit longer, but I just wanted to get out my thoughts in a more concise, precise way instead of just rambling on for like an hour. So yeah, this is my second scripted video ever on the channel. My first one, the partner experience. Yeah, feel free to watch that one if you want another scripted video. But yeah, if you want any other redesign videos, I have a Yandere Simulator redesign playlist, as well as a Steven Universe design redesign playlist. You can feel free to watch those. I will get back into it soon, I promise. I'm probably going to skip fluorite. If you guys make it to the end of this video and care about that, I'm probably going to skip fluorite. But anyways, yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to do all that good stuff. Yeah, my VGen is on the screen if you want to follow me or just commission me, whichever one you want to do, I am happy with. changed prices. My commissions are open, which has prices changed, whatever. I think that's it. Yeah. I love you guys, and I will see you all in the next video of whatever I make. Peace out, guys. Love you. Bye.